they say, and that's with Bleach, One Piece, and Naruto.
So the original and only big three.
Wait, huh? What?
The original and only big three.
Okay.
You ain't gotta put no quotes behind that because it's literally the only and the original big three. And like you said, so we got Naruto, we got Bleach, and we got One Piece. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and take off with Naruto because
my man's got a master's degree in Naruto.
Bro, just call me a doctor, okay? Just call me a doctor. When it gets to Naruto was one of those shows, and we're talking about the story right now. Naruto is one of those shows that did have its slow start. You know, it is a whiny punk kid, you know, pulling pranks and stuff and whatever. But as the story continues within that first season, you know, you instantly see character development before we even get to our first real mission as, you know, as Ginny with Kakashi Sensei, Sakura. You know, before Team 7, we already saw a backstory, you know, which helped us out to develop this character and also build this story, you know, because all these people in the Leaf Village, the Hokage and whatnot, and everybody else is loved, but this one character, but this one kid. Why is that? What is this nine-tailed fox that everybody keeps calling? You know, right. So it immediately grabs you in with this mystery. You know, it's confusing of why are people pretty much bullying this kid. You know, because as you saw in the first season, he's getting stumped out by Chunin and Jonin. You know,
I'm like, bro, this the main, bro, this
right. So it's like, so I would say as a fan, as a doctor in Naruto, it was pushing its limits within the first season. I'm not gonna lie about that. It was pushing its limits, you know. But then we got to where Naruto saved his sensei, you know, Iruka Sensei, and then that's when it was like, okay, Naruto, he might be that kid. Let me really. And at that moment, I personally was hooked. I was like, okay, let me find out. Let me find out. And then obviously, as you know, Naruto goes on to have, you know, a great run in the Shonen Jump and with his manga sales and his anime, you know. So the storyline.
Bro, who doesn't love? First of all, before you get it, who doesn't love ninjas, bro?
That's what I'm saying. Like the power scaling and the power level, the power system in Naruto.
Simple,
you know, simple. As kids, we were playing ninjas, you know, trying to throw stars and stuff. So it's like exactly, you know, so that it instantly gravitated to us younger kids, you know, doing that, you know, with just with Naruto, and then obviously you've got Naruto Shippuden, which we dig into a little bit too. But so the story, I would say the story was a lot better in Naruto than it was Naruto Shippuden, because the Naruto Shippuden story was ever changing. It was the narrative behind what was going on in the story was always different, because once you thought it was really just, you know, the Akatsuki was trying to get this, you know, to get the tail beast together, lo and behold, they've been manipulated by Toby, which is Obito, you know, which is Madara, you know. But even, you know, unravel that some more, Madara is being manipulated. So it's like, who's the real puppet master behind here?
True,
you know,
true.
With the story. So it's like, it always kept you in tune, because once you thought, you know, okay, this season gonna be the last season.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Who is this? Who is this? Toby's voice just changed. What's going on? You know, so it's like it keeps you around with Naruto's story. Character development, that's there's no need to even say that. We've seen Naruto grow from a punk kid pulling pranks. I mean, he still does his pranks, you know, but from a punk kid to a heavily respected, technically Genin amongst the ranks. You know, when he comes back home from his 2.5-year time skip or training with Jiraiya, you know, he's mature to a certain extent. You know, he was mature. It was clear that he's been through some intensive training. And not only just Naruto, you know, of course we have, you know, Sakura, we have Sasuke, we got their training, we've seen their training, you know, but even Konohamaru, you know, he left. Naruto left when he was like maybe 8. Comes back, Konohamaru. He's even more mature and as far as a person and as a ninja, you know, with his skills and stuff like that. So it's like the character development is pretty decent. You know, a lot of the characters that transferred over from like Naruto, so you got Lee, Neji, you know, Ino, all those guys, all those characters. You still got a good chunk from them. Hinata, you still get a good chunk of development from them, but not so much focused on them. We don't really get too much character development from the side characters as we get from Naruto, because I mean the show is called Naruto, you know, so it's like if we're not talking about Naruto, why is the show his name, you know?
And to piggyback off of some of the stuff you're saying, this kind of delves on animation and storytelling, because like you see Madara getting manipulated, but like the first time you see Madara drop down, that made him probably one of the top 5 menacing people ever I found, and everybody.
Talking about at the start of the war. Okay,
when you see Madara, it's like, yeah, nah. Let me knock some of this rust off.
Let me get this rust off. Yeah, it's like it's always something to pull you in with Naruto. It's some people say no, I can get rid of it because it's, you know, he's chasing a guy the whole scene or the whole storyline, and which he is, but I mean you gotta understand, you know,
man, y'all chase girls all y'all life, y'all don't get them, so does that stop y'all?
Right, you know what I'm saying?
I'm being petty.
So it's like you gotta understand. I'm a big fan of understanding what is going on. You know, I pay attention to the content, to the storyline. You know, so you gotta understand why Sasuke was such a big piece for Naruto and why he didn't want to let that go. And then, as you can see now, with the end of Shippuden and Boruto, you know, it plays a big factor. You know, their relationship. You know, you got Hokage and then the Shadow Hokage. But we're not gonna dive too much about Boruto because we're talking about the old big three, the original big three, the first big three, and the only big three. All right, and then of course the animation.
And then
the animation to me was pretty good. There's only a few parts of Naruto where the animation is kind of like, and it's where, you know, Pain, he's fighting Pain, and you know they doing their high speed chase in the waterfall. And obviously the animation is not what it's supposed to be. But me personally, I thought it was the animation change and a high speed altercation like that. I thought it was pretty decent. It could have been a tad bit better because a little bit did look a little weird at some points of the fight. But all in all, I thought you know the animation change for that brief moment was pretty good. It was pretty good to me.
Right. So your take on Naruto is great, but my turn to take on One Piece, and One Piece is a masterpiece on its own.
Mm-hmm.
I will say when you first started, it's a slow bite, but there's a reason. You need to set. Ichiro Oda had such a grandiose plan that he needed to set out almost 100 chapters before you even start the story, so you can get the backstory and everything.
Right.
Luffy is a main character. This dude is my favorite character of anime of all time. He's a lovable, funny character. Straightforward. He's a great captain. He puts others before himself.
Mm-hmm. True leader.
But when it comes down to putting your 10 toes down and I got you, number one character. One character. I don't care what you did. You fed me. Bet I'm about to take over this whole country for you. I got you.
Yeah.
So that as on its own is crazy. And then plus you just want to see him be the Pirate King after every episode. Like you see him find Kobe and it's just like, okay, who's this little punk? And then you see him fight Don Krieg. You're like, oh, okay. And then you see him fight Arlong. You like, oh, okay. And then you see him fight Crocodile. I'm like, yo, man, I gotta watch the rest of the story. Then
I don't know about anybody else, you know, but give you a little backstory on DubZoro and Monkey.D.Bubba. So I was not a One Piece fan at all up until a year and a half ago.
I would say so. Right.
Monkey D always trying to, yo, Jay, you need to
I
watch
had to
this.
pull his
You need to watch
teeth.
this. You need to watch this. I say, yo, look, check this out, man. Because you're my boy and I respect your opinion. I'll watch it. I'll give you the first 100 episodes. If it's not good within that, I'm not. I'm done. He's like, I get it. I got it. Too easy. Watch to the crocodile fight, and then if it doesn't take, it doesn't take.
And I know the exact moment that he got you got hooked.
Talk to me.
Luffy, help me!
Hell, look, I'm not gonna lie. At the All-On Park, and Nami asked for Luffy's help, and then, of course I will. Yeah. And then it pans out, and it's like squad. Zoro posted up. Even Usopp was yo, we ready. I was hooked from there. Really. And then the crocodile fight, that really just Jones, you're not going anywhere. You're not.
Because that's the first time, like, because you see Luffy scrape everybody before you see Crocodile. I'm just like, okay, yeah, just like he about to just be Goku and everybody.
Right.
Psych, you ain't Mr. Zero. You ain't meet this man. Almost said the word. You ain't meet this. You ain't meet this man. Bro, I see Luffy lost, I want to say 1, 2, 3 times. Three times, I want to say.
Yeah.
All of it willpower coming back. No, little bit of strategy, all willpower.
A little bit of luck too, because don't forget that Miss Sunday saved him when he was in the pitfall, the quicksand.
Facts. See,
man, go ahead, continue. This is your light. This is your light.
That all that goes into my point is him being a great main character and him telling the story and being a part of just him having great character development. You see him start off with no crew, and then you see him get Zoro. Then you see him get Nami. Then you see him get Sanji. And then you just see him gradually grow and start to get his crew and see this crew become the great crew to rival some of the greatest crews out there of the Pirate Kings and the Yonkos and whatnot out there.
Right.
You just see him be a better leader. You see him take over. I don't want to say take over. You see him befriend a lot of these people and just
winning over a lot of hearts.
Yes. And you just see this man just ooze that stuff. And then with the storytelling, there's not a wasted moment in One Piece I do not think of. The foreshadowing in One Piece it's crazy. We were talking about Wano before Wano. We were talking about it even way before Thriller Bark. I want to say. Thriller Bark was pre-time skip.
Yeah.
Pre-time, and that's just one instance that's off the top of my head that I can even think about.
To me, Thriller Bark is almost. You shouldn't skip it, but it's almost like it's like an arc to me. See,
the problem is it's an arc, but the longer you go, the more important it is that you watched it. Ryuma, you see more about that. You know about Gecko Moria and Kaido's beef with them, and you know about the pacifistas and the Revolutionary Army, and then you see Zoro take that pain.
Right.
I will say. The Thriller Bark arc starts slow, but the ending of it makes it great.
Right, exactly. I totally agree.
If you can get an arc to kind of start slow and make it great at the end of it, that's great storytelling. Right. And if that is one of the weaker arcs in One Piece, man, I guess you're telling me that's terrible, but I'll take that over anything. I'll take that over any of the new school animes any day. And I'll to my next point with the animation of One Piece, I will say the very first episodes of One Piece has an acquired taste when it comes to animation.
Right.
Ichiro Oda was I don't know this, but I think that he was trying to find his way with the animation, trying to figure it out. But it just gradually gets better each arc until now. Right. I will say the Wano arc animation is top notch. Santoryu. watch. I would put
Well,
that up as animation.
You
anyway.
know that the animators to the Broly movie that you were talking about earlier are the animators to the series now.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so it's like,
That's why a lot of stuff's so clean.
yeah, it's like pristine animation. Clean
Pristine.
animation.
The
Clean.
animation is just, it's crazy. And that's what makes it one of the big three, is because it encapsulates all those storytelling, character development, animation, just encapsulate all that with one piece.
Right. Totally agree. I couldn't agree more. And then so for the last big three, the last anime and the original, the first, the only big three is Bleach. Now, Bleach is already is all known to be a fantastic anime. It has its flaws, don't get me wrong, but Bleach, there's a reason why it's in the big three category. Right? We got Ichigo, he's another. It's just something about that era of the animation or the anime that the main characters are lovable characters. They characters with so much charisma it's hard for you not to be attached to them.
Right.
Great guy. Friends, no friends, whatever the case may be. There's a reason why you gravitate to this character. So and obviously another similar story. Starts off with nothing pretty much. But it's like, okay, his first little instant with villains and trying to figure out who this character is really going to be starts off within the first season. It's like, okay, and it captivates you right then and there. And then as you can see, as the story goes on, Ichigo goes through multiple trainings, multiple even psychological, events to where it alters him psychologically, So if you can factor that into an anime and still manage to keep your character, your viewers, character development is top notch. Going to be
top notch.
The storyline is also going to be, epic, because while he's going through all these changes mentally, he's also picking up other fights and other friends and villains to lean on and fight, so. And it's like it's part. I want to say is one of the first beginnings of where you get your godlike characters,
right,
amongst the big three. Anyways,
right.
Because Naruto and One Piece, they're really humans for the most part of the show.
Right.
With Bleach, godlike characters is already being talked about, within the first 2 seasons of it. So the character development and the storyline are already, a good storyline. Another one that starts off slow, don't get me wrong.
Right.
If you haven't watched it does start slow, but it definitely picks up. There's a reason why Bleach is coming back in 2020.
Right.
Okay. There's a reason why.
Crazy. The demand for Bleach is crazy.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like we're hungry for the final chapter of Bleach. And then the animation to me for all the big three were relatively the same. Starts off kind of slow, a little ruggish, but then it gradually gets better. It's not comparing. Well, we don't know. I'm not gonna say it's not compared to One Piece, because One Piece is still going and ever changing. Bleach is just not coming back. Naruto ended 4 or 5 years ago.
Right.
So we have to wait to see what the animation for the current Bleach is going to look like. But before Bleach, in the era that it's in, animation, it wasn't bad. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't one of those that captivates your eye. But it was like, okay, I can stick with this. I can deal with this.